Hello, everyone. Thank you all for attending our webinar session today. My name is John Grosby, and I am part of the Learning and Development team at Seller University. Today, we are joined by Caroline and Max, who are both part of New Seller Success, and together they will be facilitating and moderating today's webinar. And just a brief housekeeping before we begin. You will notice that your individual microphones are muted. To really extract the benefits from today's session, please silence all devices that may come as a distraction. Also, at the end of today's session, you will receive a survey asking you about your experience. Your feedback is very important to us and will be used for future webinars. So without further delay, Caroline and Max, the floor is all yours.
Thank you, John. Welcome all. Let's get started. Thank you for joining our training on 6 things to know before selling in the Amazon store. Here, we'll introduce the most important things for any seller to know before they make their first sale. At this point, you're likely wondering what the top things you need to know are before selling in the Amazon store. Let's cover that right away. Today, we'll focus on listings, advertising, orders, shipping, payments, and account health. Before we start, please note that this webinar assumes you have already created a seller account. This presentation will take about 45 minutes, and then we will have a 15-minute question and answer period. At any time, you may submit questions and I will answer as many as possible. This introductory webinar includes a lot of information, but don't worry if it's too much to remember the first time. This presentation is being recorded for later access on Seller University. Additionally, each main topic has its own Seller University material, which we'll share at the end of the session. The first thing to know before selling in the Amazon store is at the core of the Amazon shopping experience: listings. A listing shows that a product is available for purchase, and it's what the customer sees when deciding whether or not to purchase your product. We'll cover some listing basics today, but we'll dive deeper in our next webinar. Before you list anything, though, it's important to make sure your product can actually be sold in the Amazon store. We keep a restricted product list that tells sellers what cannot freely be sold. Some products might seem obvious, but others might surprise you, so be sure to check. The list is updated often, so check it regularly. Some products also have specific restrictions that relate to their condition or other status, and some require approval from Amazon before being sold. Be sure to check the Restricted Product Help page for guidance. You can check on your application by looking at Selling Applications under Catalog. Another important thing to be sure of before you list is that your product has a product ID, also known as a Global Trade Identification Number, or GTIN. You probably see GTINs almost every day on the barcodes of your products you purchase. If your product cannot use a GTIN, all is not lost. You may be able to apply for a product ID exemption. You can find specific help about that process in Seller Central. In our webinar on listings, you will learn about the parts of a listing itself and get tips on how to build the best listing possible. Let's take a look at listings in action. Nikki Wolf has a small business, Any Company Sports. While she mostly resells other sporting good items, she has recently started selling her own brand, Any Company Sporting Goods. She is visiting Amazon to make a listing for her brand's new baseball caps. Nikki knows how to add products to existing listings, but now she needs to create an original listing for her cap. Now Nikki starts to make the listing itself, following the recommended title style of brands, product name, size, and color. Nikki titles her listing, Any Company Sporting Goods Baseball Cap, One Size Fits All, Green. For the remaining components of her listing, Nikki follows the Amazon standards and suggestions, which we'll cover in detail in our listings webinar. Once you have a great listing, customers will begin to find you in search. But advertising is key to letting customers know your product is right for them. That brings us to the second thing to know before selling in the Amazon store: Advertising. Advertising will help you reach more customers and engage their interest to increase sales. Advertising the Amazon store usually takes one of four forms: ad campaigns, deals, coupons, promotions. Let's look at how advertising works for Nikki Wolf and Any Company Sports. Nikki regularly uses campaigns to promote the products she resells, which works very well because she frequently becomes the featured offer. Nikki has just started selling Any Company sporting goods branded products, so she decides to try a brand promotion. She hopes that this will drive traffic to her product page and increase brand awareness. Because driving people to her branded baseball cap is her current goal, she decides to set a greater budget for that campaign and set it to run for 2 months. Nikki also notices that most of her sales come from Prime customers. To reward her loyal customers and to help them learn that she has launched the Any Company sporting goods brand, she also starts a coupon promotion targeting Prime customers. After considering both the financial impact of the coupon and the potential increase in sales, Nikki sets the discount at 20% off, but only sets the coupon promotion to run for 2 weeks in order to attract and delight both new and existing customers. So you have a great listing and you have advertised to bring in customers. Next, you need to know what happens when orders start coming in. That brings us to the third thing to know before selling in the Amazon store: orders. When a customer places an order, that order is labeled as pending. Normally, an order will be pending for 30 minutes, which gives customers some time to change their minds and cancel an order. If a customer cancels at that point, there is no charge to the customer or penalty for you. While orders are usually only pending for 30 minutes, sometimes, like if there's a problem with a customer's payment, the order could stay pending for much longer, up to 25 days. While an order is pending, do not ship it, even if the buyer contacts you. While an order is pending, any problems are between Amazon and the customer. Once a customer's payment is verified, the order changes from pending to unshipped. Now you should ship it. Check the Manage Orders page once a day for unshipped items. When you ship a product, make sure you ship only to the customer's confirmed address. Once you have shipped an unshipped product, make sure that you confirm shipment on Amazon's Manage Orders page. This is important because you need to confirm that you are shipping on time to keep your account healthy. If you use our Fulfillment by Amazon service, then Amazon will handle all of this for you and will also handle your shipping. We'll cover orders in more detail in our orders webinar. Before we talk about shipping though, let's look at how Nikki Wolf at Any Company Sports is doing with payments. While she's excited about her baseball caps, Any Company Sports also continues to resell other brands of sporting goods, which Nikki ships to customers herself. She makes sure to check Manage Orders every day so that she never misses an order that moves from pending to unshipped. She is sure to ship every unshipped item promptly and makes sure to update its status on the Manage Orders page as soon as she sends a product to a customer. These are very good habits to have, and they help Nikki maintain good account health, which we'll talk more about later. Once your products have been successfully ordered, it's time to send them to your customers. This brings us to the fourth thing to know before selling in the Amazon store: shipping. Customers trust that products they buy will arrive in a timely fashion. As a seller, it's your responsibility to make sure that your items ship quickly, are tracked well, and arrive on time. You have a few options when it comes to shipping, but these generally fall into one of two categories: merchant fulfilled shipping or fulfillment by Amazon. Merchant fulfilled shipping is handled by the seller directly. You take care of packaging, shipping, returns, and customer service yourself. You send your inventory to Amazon, and we will take care of processing orders, shipping those orders to customers, and processing any returns. When using merchant fulfilled shipping, remember that the first step is packaging your product well. Delivery can be a bumpy ride, and customers don't want a product that arrives damaged. Once your product is well packaged, it's time to ship. Remember that it's very important to avoid late shipping, which happens when you don't send out a product quickly enough. Also, be sure that your shipping method has valid tracking. Finally, when managing shipping yourself, you also must meet or exceed Amazon's return policy. Another option is to use Fulfillment by Amazon, also called FBA. If you choose Fulfillment by Amazon, then you can store your products at Amazon and Amazon will ship them for you. This can be very useful, especially if your products are difficult or costly to ship by yourself, such as small or very large products. Amazon handles shipping, returns, and customer service for orders that are fulfilled by Amazon, allowing more time for sellers to focus on growing their business. Furthermore, all products enrolled in Fulfillment by Amazon are eligible for Prime, which gives you an advantage with millions of Prime customers around the globe. Don't worry if you're not sure which method is best for you. You can learn more about Fulfillment by Amazon and some of the benefits it offers to sellers in our FBA webinar. Let's see how shipping works for Nikki Wolf and Any Company Sports. Any Company Sports mostly works as a reseller. The products they sell are in small inventories, so Nikki decides that it would make more sense to use merchant-fulfilled shipping for those items. She is always very careful when packaging her products to make sure that they can survive a 3-foot drop at any angle. While Nikki was happy to use merchant-fulfilled shipping in the past, now that Any Company Sports has started the Any Company Sporting Goods brand, she started to think about ways to make her listing more appealing to customers. The Any Company Sports baseball cap have been doing very well, and Nikki has ordered a large number of them from her supplier. She decides that it would be more difficult for Any Company Sporting Goods to grow its brand if she has to manage all of the shipping herself. So Nikki decides to enroll in Fulfillment by Amazon for her branded baseball caps. Customers now count on receiving Any Company Sporting Goods baseball caps directly from Amazon fulfillment centers. So you have created a listing, used advertising to attract customers, they have ordered your product, and you have shipped it to them. Now it's time for you to get paid. This is the fifth thing for you to know before selling in the Amazon store: payments. The way Amazon sends payments to sellers is very simple. At the end of every statement period, Amazon deposits your money directly into the account listed in your account details. To make sure that you don't have problems with payments, it's important your account details are correct and that your account can receive money from Amazon. To help ensure smooth payments, make sure that your account has a positive balance, a valid account number, a valid credit card on file, and transferable funds. If everything on your account is correct, Amazon will deposit funds directly into your account every 2 weeks at the end of each statement period. Note, however, that money may not become available immediately in your account. When you check your payments, note that some money may be held in account level reserve. Account level reserve exists to protect you and your customers. In general, account level reserve is designed to make sure there is money available in case customers request returns. Therefore, money from purchases is held for 7 days after delivery to give the customer a chance to return a product. Sometimes, funds can be held in account level reserve for other reasons, usually related to issues with account health. Before we talk about account health, let's look at how payments work for Nikki Wolf at Any Company Sports. The launch of the Any Company Sporting Goods brand has been very successful and Nikki's business is booming. She knows that payments from Amazon can take up to 5 business days to appear in her account, so she has arranged a payment schedule with her manufacturer to send payments 1 week after the end of each of Amazon's statement periods. She also knows that earnings stay in account level reserve for 7 days after her products are delivered to customers, so she made sure to account for that delay when arranging her first payment to the manufacturer. Now she can cover expenses and can keep sending Amazon a steady supply of inventory. the Any Company Sporting Goods brand is off to a fantastic start. So we've mentioned account health a few times, but what exactly is it? Let's cover the sixth thing to know before selling in the Amazon store. Account health. Amazon keeps track of how healthy your account is in a few different ways. One big measurement of account health is customer service performance. Remember that your most important job is to make sure your customers are delighted. To keep your account healthy, avoid negative feedback. It's important to make sure that you are selling products that don't generate negative responses, but a clear and true listing is just as important. You should always ship items quickly and ensure they do not get damaged in shipping. If a customer feels that the product they bought doesn't match what they saw in the listing, or if they arrive damaged or late, they are very likely to leave you negative feedback. Next, A to Z guarantee claims are cases in which the customer has a problem with their purchase but is unable to have the problem solved by the seller. Amazon guarantees that the customer will have a good experience from beginning to end and can step in to help a customer if they cannot reach the solution with the seller. One big way in which issues like this happen is when a customer wants to return an item but cannot arrange this with the seller. So make sure you manage returns well. It's also very important that you avoid chargebacks. If a customer orders an item that doesn't arrive, they may ask for their money back or tell their bank to stop payment. Cases like these are called chargebacks. Amazon will handle chargebacks, but they may negatively affect your account health. Finally, be sure to always respond to customer messages. You are expected to reply to customers within 24 hours. To help you reply to customers quickly, even when you're not in front of the computer, you can download the Amazon Seller app. Product policy compliance is also very important to your account health. Remember, respect intellectual property and sell authentic items. Always keep invoices and information about your suppliers to protect yourself in case you find that one of your products gets removed from a catalog. Also, always beware of product condition. Finally, it's important to keep track of shipping performance. There are 4 very important metrics to watch. First is your late shipment rate, which must stay under 4%. Second is your pre-fulfillment cancellation rate, which must stay under 2.5%. Third is your valid tracking rate, which must stay above 95%. Fourth is the on-time delivery rate, which must stay over 97%. Account health will be covered in more detail in its own webinar, but right now, let's take a look at Any Company Sports and how Nikki's account health is tracked. When Nikki was first starting out, she made some mistakes. One type of tennis ball that she resold was listed incorrectly on the product page, and a customer who bought the product complained that the item they received was not what was listed. Another time, Nikki was not careful when she packaged an item, and a customer received a pack of golf tees in which 2 were broken. In both cases, Nikki received a message from the customer. She kept the Amazon Seller app on her phone and was able to respond quickly to the messages and process both returns. But she also received negative feedback because the customers didn't have a good experience. However, Nikki learned from those mistakes, and Any Company Sports has grown into a better company. Both cases happened more than 60 days ago, so they no longer affect her account health. This concludes our introductory webinar on the 6 things to know before selling in the Amazon store. Before we move to Q&A, let's review them. First, listings. A good listing attracts customers and brings in sales. Second, advertising. You can choose campaigns, deals, coupons, or promotions to reach the right customer at the right time. Next, orders. Use Manage Orders to keep track of which orders are pending and which are unshipped. Fourth, shipping. You have several options for shipping, so choose the one that is right for you. Fifth, payments. Amazon normally pays sellers every 2 weeks, but you can request payment early if you need to. Finally, account health. Always put your customers first. Sell quality products, respond to messages promptly, and ship responsibly to keep your account healthy and your customers delighted. Now let's discuss questions you may have.
Great, thanks for that, Caroline, and thanks for all of the attendees that have submitted questions. If you do have questions that you'd like to address, go ahead and submit those so that we can hopefully answer some of those during our Q&A. So with that said, the first question here came in, Caroline. It says, is a GTIN number the same as a UPC code?
A UPC code is a type of GTIN. So, yes.
Great, thank you for that. Another question just came in here that says, how old can an item be before sending it in? For example, if I purchased an item and I needed approval for the brand, but now it no longer needs approval.
So it may depend specifically on the category with how we accept in that category. Some invoices are needed within the past 180 days. There are some categories that are more lenient. So I would check based on the specific category of your product. You may not need brand approval, but you may still need category approval to sell that item. So I would go back and check with that category for their invoicing requirements.
Great, thank you for that. And then another question that came in, it says, what are some of the differences between deals, coupons, and promotions?
Absolutely, not a problem. So with this one, can go a little bit more in depth, but I'll try and keep it pretty high level. So coupons is when you offer a dollar amount or a percentage off. And the requirements for this are not as steep. So anyone's able to run a coupon as long as you meet the metrics on that product. Whereas deals are more merit-based, based on sales rank, sales history, and the length of time on the platform most of the time. And then promotions is also available to any seller, and these are more when you buy one, get one free, buy 5, get 10% off, something like that. So to kind of sum it up, coupons and promotions are eligible to everybody, whereas deals are more of an exclusive discount, more merit-based on your sales traction of certain ASINs that we may offer for you to use.
Great, thank you. And then another question came in here. It says, I'm a new FBA seller and have been trying to figure out why the books that I've been shipped in and have been received by Amazon are not shipping out in a timely manner. It looks like they go live upon receipt, but then go in transit to other warehouses. Could you maybe explain what that process is called and how that works?
Sure. So this is what we call fulfillment center transfer, or you may see it as FC transfer in your account. This is when items are sent into the Amazon fulfillment center to the location of your shipping label, and then we are going to distribute them across the United States or to different locations where there's better storage or where that item may sell best to ensure 2-day prime to customers. There's no additional fee when this happens. This is a courtesy just to ensure that our items do get to those prime customers on time. However, you may see that it will go temporarily active, but then undergo that fulfillment center transfer, which causes delayed delivery date. So it is still purchasable during that time. It will just have that delayed delivery that the customer accepts upon checkout. So unfortunately, there's nothing you can do to avoid that or change that. It is part of the Amazon logistics, but your item is still purchasable and there is no charge to you as a customer when it's going through that process.
Got it. Great, thank you. And then there's a question here. It's asking about ASINs that are sold by different sellers. It says, what if someone tries to sell my ASIN, but the quality is poorer than mine? And because of that, ASIN may be getting negative reviews. How does Amazon tackle those kind of situations?
Great question. So if this is a product that is manufactured by you, or you have a manufacturer and this other person may be part of your distribution channel, it is up to you as a seller to identify who that may be in your distribution channel to ensure the integrity of the product is upheld, or if they are approved or not approved to sell it on different e-commerce platforms. But Amazon does not enforce the resale of who is able to resell items on the platform. So I would suggest either reaching out to them directly if the item is not in the new condition or there's something wrong with it, that would be different. And if you're a brand owner, you can follow the violation tool, the report of violation, also known as RAV tool, for additional support. But I would start by following your distribution channel and identifying who that other seller may be and have the conversation outside of Amazon, as we don't uphold those contracts.
Got it. Okay. And then next question from an attendee here says, once I sell an item and it's out of stock, but I know I'm not going to restock it, should I delete the item or close the listing?
So if you are never going to sell it again and you're confident of it, that's just fine. You're more than welcome to close it. It is good for inventory purposes with FBA. If you were using FBA and then choose to no longer sell it, I would suggest closing it or deleting it. But if there is a chance that it'll come back, it's okay to keep it in your account for the short term.
Thank you for that. Okay, and then next question here says, I just registered my brand, but didn't get it registered yet didn't get approval yet from the US registration office. Can I still register as a brand without the seal?
Great question. So Amazon Brand Registry does accept pending trademarks. However, you will need to have a registration number identified or serial number identified to start that process. You can check with the USPTO site to see once you have that and the mark drawing type is identified. That is your green light, go ahead to enroll in Brand Registry for early access.
Great, thank you. Then let's see here. Another question came in that says, can my supplier ship directly into FBA or do I have to receive the products first?
Great question. You can ship directly from your supplier. If it is a domestic shipment, you can definitely still use our shipping labels. Just the ship from address would be your supplier. If it's international, you'll still have to create the FBA shipment so we know it's on the way, but you'll have to purchase your shipping from an external source. Just make sure that the ship from address is your supplier and that you do accurately enter if they are going to prep and label your items or not, to ensure that the check-in process is smooth since you won't be seeing those products yourself.
Thank you. And then another question came in here. It says, what IPI score would you consider good? And maybe just an explanation of what an IPI score is. That may be helpful.
Yeah, sure. That's not a problem. So this is your inventory performance index, and this is going to really identify what and how well you are doing with your keeping a good level of inventory in the fulfillment centers to make sure that there's not any excess inventory, that you're improving, your 90-day sell-through rate of all products, and that you're increasing sales by keeping items in stock. So if you go in your Seller Central account under inventory, you will be able to see inventory planning where you'll find your IPI. And to be specific, this changes of what we suggest is best, but you'll see a little dashboard there ranging in colors from red, yellow, light green to dark green. Dark green is excellent. That's the area you want to stay in. Obviously, if you move more towards that yellow or red, that means that you may be slipping in one of those areas I previously mentioned. So a specific number isn't really what you're shooting for. It's based on that dashboard, just due to how fast Amazon also is able to check items in at any given time, as well as what the current stance are for shipments out. We do take those into consideration with different world events going on. So just make sure that you are in that light green and dark green area to stay healthy and moving through your inventory for a positive IPI score.
Got it. Excellent. Thank you. And then this question here is regarding barcodes. It says, if the item I am selling already has a barcode, Do I need to create my own barcode, or is the manufacturer barcode valid?
Great question. So first you would want to check and see if that UPC code or that barcode number is on the Amazon platform when you go to sell it. If that product is being represented as the same one that you have, you can sell on that listing and use the manufacturer barcode. If for some reason you go into the Amazon catalog and when you plug in that barcode number, it pulls up a different product that's not the same as yours, you'll want to check with the manufacturer to see if you are authorized to use that or if you should be purchasing your own to apply over. And at that time, your option is either to purchase your own UPC code with somewhere like GS1, that's girlsam1.org, or you can use Amazon's FN SKU for FBA shipments. But I would confirm with the Amazon catalog and your manufacturer to ensure that that barcode is authorized for you to use.
Excellent. And with that, I'll just wrap up on one final question here. The last question is, how does the buy box work?
Great question. So we call this the featured offer here at Amazon, and the featured offer is going to be when you have that add to cart option on the product detail page. When you have that add to cart option on the product detail page, this is going to ensure customers are able to buy the product right now and check out. A key feature of this, there's many different attributes that funnel into the eligibility to be winning the featured offer. Not all new products may have it, but in order to ensure that you're becoming the featured offer, you want to make various correct steps to improving the service and the competitiveness for customers on pricing and fast free shipping. So what I would consider reviewing is the featured offer attributes, what contributes to it, and that is making sure that your item is priced competitively to other people on the platform as well as other e-commerce platforms, offering free shipping or fast shipping with Amazon FBA, ensuring you have great customer service, no negative marks against your account health, as well as always keeping your products in stock. These are the main areas you really want to focus on to ensure that you are winning that featured offer for that add to cart button on your product detail page.
Great. Thanks so much, Caroline. That concludes our Q&A.
This concludes our webinar covering the 6 things to know before selling in the Amazon store. Remember, you can find more information about each of these 6 areas on Seller University, as well as in upcoming dedicated webinars. Thank you and happy selling in the Amazon store.
Hello everyone, John here again. A big thank you to Caroline and Max for facilitating and moderating today's webinar. Also, thank you to all who attended and participated. As mentioned in the beginning, you will be receiving a brief survey. Your feedback and opinion are greatly appreciated. Also, continue visiting Seller University and keep an eye out for future webinars. We hope you enjoyed today's session and we wish you a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you.